This is Oilers Nation Radio, your one-stop shop for everything Oilers. 1 hour of straight hockey talk with Bagged Milk, Tyler, Liam, Rick, and Dan starts now.
I love complaining about the internet at an internet company where my sheets just, they don't load. You know? They don't load. Who needs internet?
You can't pick up what you need to say from it?
It's never going to take off anyways, don't worry.
Oh, just the blank page? I mean, I could try. Thankfully, I've got a lot of these memorized. We're going to start off the podcast. We got a lot to talk about today. Not all of it is good. Some of it is good. But first, we got to start off with a delicious debate for our friends at Odd Company Brewing. Proud to partner with them on Nation Beer Everyday Lager. You can find it at either Odd Company location here in the city or at liquorconnect.com. It is perfect for the next big game. Or if you're sad about losing 2 superstars.
No.
Whichever fits your beverage needs, Odd Company is there for you with Nation Beer Everyday Lager. We're going to throw it over to Liam Horbin for today's delicious debate.
Well, we're in the thick of it.
Into the thick of it.
To say the least. Oh. Reports today from Daniel Nugent-Hopkins who put clarification on it. Knobloch said that McDavid may be a week and Leon Draisaitl up to a week.
Those mean the same, don't they?
Nope. They are both different. One of them is short term, one of them is a little bit longer than short term. So the question is, how do you set up this Oilers forward group without McDavid and Draisaitl?
Poorly?
To say the least.
Welcome back, 2014, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, starting center.
Absolutely not. This team went through the third period last night without either one of those guys and played the best team in the league with the best goaltender in the league and played very well.
They did
Why
play
everybody's sitting here and like thinking this is the end of the world and everyone's jumping off the cliff right now is absolutely insane. We tell everybody all the time we're not a one-player team nor a two-player team. Now we have an opportunity to prove it. These guys have to go out there and play without the safety net of those 2 guys.
Rick.
It's not the end of the world.
I'm betting on them to miss the playoffs.
It is the end of the
I made
This
the Tiger
team better
Woods
be able to
meme.
beat Seattle without those 2 guys.
I agree. The 2 games they have, one of them is obviously way more winnable than the other one without McDavid and Draisaitl.
I think 1 or 2 may even be back by Dallas. That's Wednesday. That's a week.
I would say by the word in Draisaitl we could see by. I wouldn't be shocked if he was in the lineup. I think it's more likely.
Can you give me the wording again?
Well, lest
Up
we
to a
forget,
week.
last night on the broadcast, Bob Stauffer said of Leon Draisaitl, if it was a playoff game,
was
he would
playing.
be out there blocking shots in the nude.
You saw him play the rest of that game on Tuesday.
Why would he have to be naked?
When he was,
Why
to
would
prove
he
it.
not be naked?
Yeah, just to show everybody you're willing to go out there and you're actually not injured.
Okay.
But you saw the way he played at the end of that game on Tuesday. Yeah.
Well, that's why
when
I'm
was on
surprised
the
he didn't
bench,
play yesterday.
Yes, he looked like he's uncomfortable. When he went on the ice, you didn't see an ounce of flinching or.
I strongly disagree. You saw multiple ounces of, I'm in a bit of pain.
Yeah, but you don't like. He doesn't change.
I even saw a
multiple
compilation
ounces.
video.
You see it on his face. You see it on his face. But everybody saw things on his face before and said he's a bad attitude, and that's just who he is.
So,
But you didn't see him like shy away from areas. You didn't see him like lose battles because of it. You didn't see negative reflection in his game. Yes, on his face, whatever. I don't care about that. But his game was still there.
and then he didn't play the next game.
Yeah, because the coaches didn't let him.
I wonder if too, like I'm assuming it's a knee injury.
No, it's a hamstring.
He did take like a weird tumble.
It's
Yeah.
his left hamstring.
I just remember. And
Moon's over my hammy.
Do you remember Tyler, remember this? When Christian McCaffrey got injured by the Buffalo Bills, he was running through the tackles like he does, and the defenseman pulled on his foot as he was like running. And that's kind of what the Draisaitl thing was.
And then you saw the reverse angle and it looked like his calf exploded.
Yeah, we didn't see that from Draisaitl, but it just reminded me of that, and that's why I assume knee. But I guess the question is, who wants to start? How do you line it up without McDavid and Draisaitl?
Who's starting? Tyler, you're a lineup boy.
Yeah, I think you need to keep some semblance. I understand maybe being like, oh, we should spread it out a little bit, whatever. I think you need to keep some semblance of a top 6 alive in this thing. So I would move or keep Henrique, I guess, on the top line with Hyman and Skinner. That seems to be working well. Shooter, good forechecker. Adam Henrique, just do your job. And then Nuge, Podkolzin, and Arvidsson. I thought Nuge and Podkolzin both played really well against Winnipeg, even though they didn't score. So keep that trio together. They've been good. You need them to be good now for another week. So you have your top 6. You're going to ride those guys hard. And then on your third line, I probably am tempted to go like a little bit more all offensive. Like I would like to see Matt Savoy called up. and I would go Perry with Kapanen down the middle and Savoy on the wing. And like, that's a good offensive line. Like all three, you can just lean on them in the O-zone. And then I do an all defensive fourth line with Derek Ryan, Matthias Janmark, and Connor Brown.
Dan?
Oh, man. I am just the opposite of Tyler. I am not a lineup guy, but if I am just going to be super lazy and just slide every centerman up on daily faceoff and just put Derek Ryan at the bottom. I don't mind Henrique as a second line center myself. Putting Nuge up with Skinner and Hyman. Man, I don't know. Like Perry and Henrique together on that second line, maybe you get a little bit of Anaheim Ducks. It's not like we're having to win a playoff game here.
Yeah,
like you're just trying to win a hockey game.
Essentially, we got 3 games to get through if we're using just the week as the timeline.
I went down on Tuesday, so should be back by a Wednesday.
If you were following along, I did give a lineup there.
Basically, everyone bumped up.
Yeah, the centerman, and then in comes Derek Ryan. Waz, you're welcome.
He gives a cheer from Waz from the gallery. So I think like I'm looking at daily faceoff right now too. I would leave Podkolzin, Nuge, Arvidsson alone. I think I move Henrique up between Skinner and Hyman. Now, whether you call one the one first line, 1A, 1B, both two, doesn't matter. Then it's where it gets interesting. In the bottom 6. So right now we got Janmark flipped to center. DR's coming in. We know he's coming in. So he would be on the 4th line, probably with Perry and Brown. I don't like Janmark is the 3rd line center. So it's the 3C that I don't know what we're doing with.
Put in Kapanen.
The 3C is a huge question mark. Do you call up Philp?
You could also consider doing that.
I don't call up anybody until
I call up Matt Savoy.
It's tomorrow. The game's tomorrow already, so your roster is already done with it. Like whoever plays tomorrow
he's a Bakersfield.
is here
Quick
right
fight.
now.
Quick flight.
But if this does bleed over into say Monday, they're not looking like they're going to be ready to go on Wednesday, then I'm probably bringing up Philp and Savoy. It's an opportunity to give them some playing time in some important time. I probably not playing Derek Ryan then. I'm giving that to Philp because, I mean, let's face it, by next year, we're kind of hoping it's Philp there, not
Derek Ryan. Yeah.
Phil's been playing like 3rd line minutes.
I know that. Nothing makes sense when it comes to the AHL, though. I mean, I go back to like Clefbaum when he was down there way long ago, and he wasn't putting up great numbers and doing great things, and everyone's like, I don't know about this. He came up here and he's just fine. So it's just because I don't watch it.
Yeah.
I don't really understand. Like, I don't get why he should be number 1, no?
Think.
Or 2, like I guess maybe if Drake's playing really well. And
Bruce Kurlock kind of tweeted, he's like, it appears the organization's like seen enough and know a Philp sort of deal, which would be very confusing again.
Because there was never a big X on him when he was up here.
No, he was just kind of like
finding his way,
unnoticeable, which I don't say is a bad thing.
No, he's finding his way as a young guy on a very adult team. You know, it's a very older team, and a guy like him is not going to have a great opportunity to make them.
So Philp in his last 3 games, 25-32, 26-02, 27-47.
Minutes. Good Lord.
Knobloch is just tired of mixing him and Nuge up.
Yes.
He thinks he's playing right now.
He's also on a 6-game point streak, which is good. Yeah, I mean, if I was going to do it, I talked about maybe an 11-7 approach. You just try and survive and get through it, and you just bring in Emberson into the lineup, and you can maybe rotate Henrique and Nuge through. And the idea was you don't know who a 3rd-line center would necessarily be.
But the idea of 11-7, sorry to cut you off, I just want to dig into that a bit. The idea of it was always like you give Connor and Leon more minutes and you get skilled guys out there with Connor and Leon more, or the bottom 6 guys, I should say, out there with Connor and Leon more. In this sense, like, are you really going 11-7 to play Adam Henrique more?
But I think you're also, if you go 12 forwards, you're probably just rotating out your 4th-line center, whoever that would be anyway, because Derek Ryan's going to have to play a little
but then you kind of mess up your D lines at a point. Honestly, I look at the defense goal right now, guys. This next game's on you guys.
Well, that's why I think
you guys need to come together here. The 6 of you put together a game. the adversity is out there. We've dealt with adversity all year long. We can't score goals for the life of us all year long. We still find a way to win. It's just another bump in the road. Like it's not the end of the world. They're both expected to be back within, a reasonable amount of time. Hopefully one game they miss. You figure it out. They looked good last night when they had neither one of those guys and their goalie got stolen from them. And they looked fine against the best team in the league, right? With the best goaltender in the league.
John Klingberg, your fourth line right winger. Who says no?
I mean, I'd rather him there than on defense.
Yeah. Also, I lied. I got the times wrong. Philip is averaging 21 minutes the last 3 games. Either way, carry on.
Well, this changes everything. We have to go back and do the entire segment.
Redo it all.
Come on.
Redo it all.
I mean, whichever way we slice it up, this lineup, as positive we can be about it, is missing $20 million.
The reality is it's impossible to fill the hole left by those two players, but everybody as a collective is going to have to chip away at the delta. Like, that's just what it is.
They're all NHL players. They're all expected to be a big part of this playoff push.
How dare
They're
you.
all NHL players.
I would argue in some nights Max Jones isn't giving me an NHL game. Either way, I'm just
Fair. Okay, maybe look at him, but I mean,
Trent Frederick could come back.
He's still a couple weeks. I don't
know? Who told you that?
I know he has really big hands. I'd assume after his large hands.
Big boy.
Ridiculous.
He thick.
I would like to see him in Vegas. I think that's probably our earliest hope, but we'll see what happens.
Well, here's another one. Nation vacation, April 1. Are we going to see Connor and Leon in the lineup 10 days from now?
Yes.
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 Leon for sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, we will. Like, there's also the other thing with, just think about the history of his time as an Oiler. When has Connor McDavid ever been injured longer than the initial timeline?
Unless it's a bad injury, like the knee and the collarbone.
Even that.
Yeah.
The collarbone, they stretched it out.
Stared at his knee for 3 months, and it was like, all right, we're good now.
Yeah, like the knee one, I remember them being like, oh, is he going to be ready for the start of the season? Then he went out and scored one of the nicest goals I can remember on opening night.
A couple hydrogen water baths, and he'll be fine.
Maybe we should get him a hydrogen water bottle. I'll just go steal the one from
he's
Jay's
got a
office.
bath. They
He
have a
just
tub.
drinks the tub water.
No, they have a hydrogen water bathtub.
Smart. Tyler, you need one of
They're
those.
very much into taking care of your body, to the point where LeBron does, I think.
Fucking hippies.
And why it goes from Tom Brady to LeBron to I think Connor McDavid right now. That's just kind of how he takes care of his body. He's got all those weird things out there, and he'll be fine.
Want to tell you about What Chaos Night with the Nation, which is coming up on Thursday, March 27th.
Boys get to fly to Edmonton to watch a team with no Mcdavid and Draisaitl potentially.
Derek Ryan.
How dare you dampen the event I'm trying to plug right now?
It's almost like we brought
Trying
in
to get
some
you
people.
excited about What Chaos Night at Greta with the Nation, and Tyler has a caca in my read.
I'm sorry. That's on me. That's bad podcasting.
We bring in the people
I'll
for
sit
the
for that
chaos.
You get 2 minutes. 2 minutes in the box.
Their
Nothing
name
from me.
is
Just
Chaos.
walks away.
They're here to cover the chaos.
It's a ticket event where hockey fans will come together for the ultimate game night, mingle with your fellow fans and nation citizens, watch the What Chaos and pre-gaming show with Boardsy live at Greta. Edmonton's going to take on Seattle. It's a night that's not going to end at the final buzzer. We're also going to do a joint post-game with Aaron and the boys from What Chaos. Get your tickets at nationgear.ca. If you do, and you need a ticket, you will be entered in for a pair of tickets to the BOA on Saturday. Join us at Greta, March 27th. That is next week. Mark your calendars. Again, it's Thursday. You could mail it in the next day. Green light. If you need an unlicensed doctor's note, you just reach out to old Bag Milk. I'll write one for you.
Do you think they'll play Crab Bucket for you guys?
Yes. I
I
don't
would
know.
assume so.
Is that the same chaos?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do love crab and buckets. And the song by Chaos that Dan is referring to.
Crab in the bucket.
Time to get down because moving up.
Crab in the bucket.
All right, let's talk about last night. Obviously, the Oilers. I actually, you know what? There's losses to be annoyed about, and there's losses to look and think of
Moral
as silver
victories.
linings. I would say last night is one of those. They were already out without Leon Draisaitl. They lost Connor McDavid at the second intermission. Concussion spotter pulls Stu out at the end of the game. thought it was interesting. Like you watch the replay, he just very slowly tumbled backwards into the net.
dumb.
It was almost in slow motion.
So dumb.
Yeah,
But then he gets yanked.
But I have a theory that he may have oversold that, and that's why he got in trouble.
I think so.
I think people also forget how different goalie equipment is than player equipment. Like that guy is falling back. His pads are probably a little bit heavy. He's got a mask on him. The pads.
But I
I
think
think he did oversell it, but I think people are making it seem like
It was a terrible move to
way
pull him.
worse.
I think that the league is going to be doing this more. You're going to see it more of it, where
shouldn't.
goalies go down and they're trying to get a call, and
So then
the
you're
league is
forced to leave
well,
the game for 10
Well,
minutes?
like decent way to cut down on goalies flopping is just be like, oh, you want to flop around in your crease? Get ready. We might.
we got
Call
to
'em.
check your head.
if you're flopping, call a flop.
Well,
That would require the refs doing their jobs.
The thing that was also annoying
Well, now
was
we're
like
expecting some other guy to do their job that we doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
the concussion protocol guy calls Stu out after what was, in my opinion, a clear sell for a goalie interference penalty. 2-3 minutes later, Ehlers with one of the worst dives I've seen in forever.
That was nuts.
And the Oilers get the penalty for it.
The refs were out on the last night.
It's just terrible
3
job.
roughing penalties? Jesus.
That call on Ekholm at the end of the second period is one of the worst calls I've ever seen.
Yes.
Like that's a scrum that happens 15 times a game.
It's terrible.
And it was like such a non-event.
Yeah, and then later on in the game, Niederreiter went up to Ekholm. And it was nothing. Like, you call it the same, you know? Like,
There was a point where Niederreiter was kind of flying around the crease when that scrum was going on. I don't know who it was that gave him a punch to the chest, and man, did he go down like a ton of bricks.
Refs have soft
He actually
egos.
caught him right. Pretty high, too. Yeah, that
So
was
good.
awesome.
Hilarious.
There's been an uptick in complaints around the league. It's just anecdotal, but there has been an uptick in complaints around the league about the refereeing. The Nashville game the other night, they had 2 fights based off of 2 hits that went uncalled. One hit was as clear of a check to the head as I've seen in a while. But yeah, I mean, I feel like we go on this show and as fans, everybody's just like, yeah, refs do better, call more calls, but like
Call the calls.
Well, let me give you this. Frank Saravalli and Jason Gregor both did some digging on this. Power play
insane.
opportunities have plummeted year over year. Teams are on track for the fewest man advantage chances since the NHL began tracking data in 1963-64. Think about that. How many teams were in the league in 63-64?
12.
And we are going to finish with fewer power plays this year?
That is shocking.
The numbers are staggering. Through the same number of games played compared to 1 year ago, there have been 747 fewer power plays called.
It's crazy. And nobody sits there and puts it on the officials to do their jobs better. It's like they're untouchable. Nobody can say anything bad about them. You say something bad in the media, bam, you're hit with a fine, which is usually pennies to these guys, but still.
Head of officiating, or NHL executive vice president of officiating, Stephen Walkham, told Frank, quote, "We're not seeing our, quote, missed rate is up." So their missed rate is down, they're saying.
The best part about being a ref in the
picking these?
NHL is that you can be like a weatherman in the sense that you're wrong 100% of the time. You're just like, I'm back on Monday. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I want to go back to the original point. Do you guys think that even though they lost last night, it was an OTL, that it was there's still positives to take out that they managed to grind out a point under the circumstances?
Yes, that was probably one of the better points they've gotten this year just because of the circumstances.
Anybody else?
I mean, it's hard to...
And you held them to that and got to overtime with it.
Yeah, they played well. The penalty kill was obviously crucial in the last 2.5 minutes, whatever it was.
Or
too.
before that on the 5-on-3.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 5-on-3 as well. Jesus. They had a chance to win in overtime, and Hellebuck just made a great save. A lucky save, whatever you want to call it. But it's hard to not... If you're that team now, at least, like, you've had that 20 minutes of, like, life without the two of Mcdavid and Draisaitl. Like, okay, we can play.
It's going to feed them into Saturday.
Yeah, and hopefully, I mean, it's an uphill battle. You're missing your two best players in the league, arguably. So, but overall, you can't be upset with what they did last night. It was weird today on the live show. Like, a lot of people in the chat acted like they had lost 10-0. Like, it's like they lost in overtime to one of the best teams in the league.
Without their two best players.
Without the two best players.
And their goaltender.
The only disappointing thing I will say about it is it sucks that you get 3 by Hellebuck and you still don't win. But also into the second.
But you got a
It's not
point.
that big of a deal. Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm happy.
Tyler, do you take it as a positive?
Yeah, I'm taking it as a positive. I mean, again, getting that point is important. And I do think, as much as I joked about it early on, the people who were talking about, oh, they might not make the playoffs now. Like, if the Oilers, they have 13 games left. Let's say Connor and Leon is, okay, knock on wood, done for the year, okay? Can't play for the rest of the regular season.
Why?
The Oilers have 3 games against the Sharks. They got the Ducks. They got a couple of other easy spots. If you go 6-7, you're going to finish at 97 points. It would take a lot for the Calgary Flames or Vancouver Canucks to catch you at 97 points. Like, they would each need to get more than 20 points in their final 13 or 14 games. Like, they'd have to go 10-3, 10-4. Like, they'd have to play so good. So, again, you're fine. This could end up being a bit of a blessing. You need to continue to milk points because you probably want to stay ahead of LA somehow. But just that's the recipe to me, is just survive. Against Dallas, survive, try to get to overtime. Against Seattle, survive, try to pull out 2 points.
This is one of those things that brings the team together.
Yeah, I think so.
And we got through the period last week. We scored a goal without them. Got to overtime. Figured out we can play without them.
Could be a
against
better
the best player against the best team in the league.
Couldn't be a better time for the secondary scoring to wake up a little bit.
Now
too.
give us. I mean, they kind of started waking up a couple of games ago. So
Yeah,
now
that's what I mean.
now
Like,
they're-
perfect time.
Yeah. Now it's time to take the next step.
I think we would have been more concerned had they not gutted out that win against the Islanders on the second half of the back-to-back, and then beating the Rangers as soundly as they did on Sunday. I think just helped massage, or did I say Sunday? Yeah, Sunday. Yeah, I think that just kind of helped massage some of the hurt that we were feeling, or some of the fear that we were feeling going into it, and then also the fact that Vegas has been stumbling is keeping me alive as well. So, like, we're still talking about the Pacific Division here, and it's not a joke.
No reason not to.
I got yelled at online, I'll have you know, 2 weeks ago for saying that we should calm down and that we are still in the division picture. But I think that you had that effort last night and you'd had 2 losses leading into it, we might have had a different conversation.
The other silver lining, Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl love each other so much that they even get injured together.
Aww.
It's adorable, really.
Didn't Jack tweet something? This is only like the 6th or 8th time Leon Draisaitl's missed a game for the Oilers or something crazy.
Yeah, they are both very durable, generally
How many
speaking.
times have they missed together?
Last season, they missed the last 2 games of the season.
Oh, that was rest though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still counts.
Okay, well, yeah,
So
let's
like,
go
when was the
injury,
last
though.
time they
Injured the same? And like games where you're like, well, now we don't have them.
I'm going to say never.
I just kind of felt
Never
like
wary.
There's probably one or 2 games maybe where it's at.
Here's looking at you, Nooch. You're back up at the 1C, boy.
But all these guys now.
Yep. Everybody's got to jump up. The other thing that I want to touch on, first multi-goal game for Jeff Skinner since March 18th of 2024. So he went a full calendar year without scoring a multi-goal game. Tyler, you tweeted it last night. Turns out he might be a top 6 player.
I often have takes that blow up and are terrible, and they are immediately proven incorrect. But I sat there in January and I said, why do you not just give Jeff Skinner 5 games with Connor McDavid and say, Connor, you are the smartest player in the world. Jeff Skinner can score 30 goals a season on Buffalo, with most of them coming at even strength, and say, you guys have 15 periods. See if you can figure it out. Connor, see if you can get the best out of him. Instead, they put him on the 3rd line, put him on the 1st line for a period, scratch him. 3rd line, 4th line, scratch him. And it's just like, you had games in January that I know they're not meaningless because they're all worth the same in the standings, but you had a period in January where you were playing well and you could have been a little bit more experimental and gotten an answer to the question of, can Jeff Skinner be a top 6 fit for you? Could have had this answer a long time ago. We're seeing now game 68 that he actually might be a fit up there and he might be able to produce.
Do it himself, though. He had to prove himself defensively. And he's really up. And you can't shake your head at that. He's definitely upped his defensive side of the game. Immensely. You can see it.
I don't.
The back checks in front of the net.
He
wasn't doing that in the beginning.
He wasn't doing that in October, November.
Yeah.
He was doing that by January, and he still wasn't getting the opportunities.
That's more fair than, but yeah, he's definitely had to bring himself. Like today versus game 1,
He was in a scrum yesterday.
big difference.
It's so cute when he gets angry in the scrums.
Because he's still smiling somehow.
He's smiling and he's like, again, coming from me, Rich, but like he's so baby faced and he's like all irritated. It's like, oh, little Jeff,
Yeah,
so
he's
angry.
so angry.
I also think it comes down to McDavid wanting to play with him.
That can't be how you're running a team, though.
I think it can be if
Big
it's
part
not
of it.
working.
This Jeff
It's to a
Jackson
point
team, it
where
can
it's
be.
He never
hey,
tried
then you
it.
get to play. Okay. I just think that like McDavid is now finally adapted to wanting to play with him and they're doing well together.
But it also helps
feels
that-
like the plays are just he's not holding on to the puck as much as he used to.
He's more confident playing with him, but
That's what I mean. Yeah, it takes a
Nuge
while.
finding his own place away from Connor
He's
has
also
really been
helping.
helped.
Yes.
Also, the thing about Jeff Skinner too last night, and the first goal just over 5 minutes, and hell of a shot, by the way.
Leaky.
He didn't defer to Connor, which I thought that in his first taste up there, he was deferring to Connor a little bit too much, which is completely understandable. You're a good player too. You have a great shot.
That's what you're here
You
for.
used it. Second goal I really liked because there was nothing pretty about it. It was just a hustle play. Got to a dirty area on the ice. Puck kicked itself out to him, and he got lucky on the swing or whatever you want to call that. Ugly goal.
They all count.
They all count. And they're all pretty to me.
You're a Jets fan, though. Hellebuck has to have that first save.
Well, he does.
He's leaky.
Well, yeah, it was. But again, like Jeff Skinner, I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, great shot. Look at that release, high skill. And then I was like, man, if that goes in on Skinner, we are killing him. Doesn't matter if it's prime Ovechkin ripping it.
Eviscerated.
It's like, what the
Somebody
fuck?
would have jumped over the glass.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that's what being a fan is.
Yep. We're rational. Always rational. And logical.
I'm trying to cash out my Oilers to miss the playoff bet. I already regret it.
A couple more things just to rip through before we get to Ask the Idiots. Victor Arvidsson played his 600th game. He now has 3 goals in his last 7. Be another gift if he can start looking like the rat player who's always been so annoying and productive over the first part of his career. What a blessing that would be. Starting
We're
to
going
turn
to find
around
out
a
if
little
these
bit.
guys are actually brought in here as playoff performers. Because if they come together as a team right now going forward, kind of playing what we expected to from beginning of October, everything's worth it. And I don't care about the no movement clauses at this point. If they come out and play like we wanted them to the whole time, NMCs are all good. I'm cool with it.
Vander Kane skated with the team yesterday. It was an optional skate. It was interesting to see him out on the ice, but moving towards a return.
Tracking. Yeah.
If in a world where I don't want this to happen, McDavid doesn't come back until the playoffs, Kane can come back and play before them too.
But we're still at a week.
Yeah, Arvidsson was day to day.
This
Yes.
is Connor McDavid.
Yeah, I think he'll ultimately be fine, but somewhat of a positive, I guess.
Little deer antler spray on whatever hurts. He's good to go.
Yeah, just some like
Work for Ray
rhino
Lewis.
horn or whatever he's got. Yeah. The other thing I want to mention, lastly, is the Prime Minister skated with the Oilers yesterday.
Oh, don't bring it up.
Mark Carney was out there. I don't want to get too much into it outside of saying the reaction was very funny. The overreactions were hilarious.
My favorite one, again, I don't care about this shit, but I like a good joke. Someone said, forecheck, back check, carbon check. And I was like, that's good.
That's a good
No matter
joke.
which way you lean, that's good wordplay.
That's a good joke.
Yeah.
We like to see it. I also just, you know what? When was the last time a sitting Prime Minister was an open Oilers fan? I don't remember one.
Did Trudeau ever jump on the ice with anybody? I'd assume maybe Montreal, but nothing.
I assume a
pops in my
drama
head.
class somewhere.
I don't remember it. I honestly cannot remember a prime minister skating.
Yeah.
Well, there's not. I don't know how old this dude is, but everyone just seems
Same age as Shirelli. They were roommates at Harvard.
Good point. Yeah,
He was
it's,
wearing goalie skates too.
old
Honestly,
goalie skates.
That is a great tell on like if someone is a real or fake hockey guy.
No, that's real
If
deal.
you're a goalie and you're like, I'd love to come out and skate. I need my goalie skates because like Todd Skinner and Pickard did that video a week ago where they're like, man, I can't use player skates. Like, yeah, that's a real hockey guy right there who needs his goalie skates.
I just thought it was kind of neat. Regardless of where your political leanings are, I don't care about that. sitting Prime Minister going out and skating with the boys. We saw him with the McJesus shirt on. We've seen him with Oilers jerseys on. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, it's cool. No one should care.
Now let's step aside for a quick break and a word from the Liberal Party.
You're a rascal, aren't you?
I'm just playing around.
You're a rascal. Time to get to Ask the Idiots questions. Fellas, I got 3 for you today. This one is courtesy of a brand new collab we've got with the fine folks at Mobilize. We haven't done one of these for a while. Hey, Dan, it's been a handful of years since we partnered up with Mobilize, but Nation Gear is excited to unveil a new collection of hoodies and t-shirts in collaboration with incredible Indigenous artist Mobilize. The designs are inspired by warrior energy, spirit makers, and the land we know as Edmonton. This collection is more than just fashion. It's a way to give back. A portion of net proceeds from the Oilers Nation Mobilize collab hoodies and tees will benefit Indigenous Sport Council of Alberta, who foster opportunities that celebrate Indigenous culture, promote wellness, and build community and connections through sport. Check them out at nationgear.ca. 3 questions, fellas. We've got 2 that are Oilers related. One is a little bit of nonsense.
I've got an additional one to add in at the end.
All right, Dan, we got a bonus question. I got to put this down so I don't forget you, Dan.
Where are you voting?
Dan, bonus question. Yes. Please submit your ballots. We will air them publicly. Okay, so you guys got to ride with me on this one. This one is from our boy Steven Fiddler. We know him.
Yep.
We love him. But it's a little bit long. So follow me through it. In hindsight, whose summer set back the Oilers more? Jeff Jackson this past summer or Peter Chiarelli in the summer of 2017? It's closer than you may think. Now let me remind you of what happened. Chiarelli did Eberle for Strome, which would have been fine if he didn't turn Strome into Spooner. He also let a lot of key veterans go, Hendricks, Pouliot, etc., in favor of younger kids like Benning, Slapyshev, Kajula, who were not quite ready for bigger roles. His big free agent signings from that summer, Jokinen, Stanton, and Ratty. We all know what Jeff Jackson did this past summer that resulted in the team being a little bit older and slower, put the Oilers in a position to lose 2 top prospects because of the math. Seems like every bet Jackson made has not quite worked out as we expected. Only positive is that we were able to get Draisaitl extended. Now, who's got the more negatively impactful offseason?
Well,
It's not close.
I have a feeling I'm going to disagree with you,
did
Rick.
bring in Al Montoya in January.
He was the answer.
Yeah.
Not
Don't ask him. Just don't ask him a question. I understand where you're saying where like it's close because I do think losing those early years of McDavid and Draisaitl just sucked, and that's a big reason why the Oilers lost those years is that summer. It wasn't as damaging because at least Jeff Jackson still brought in like NHL caliber players. But I will say the Jackson situation will haunt the Oilers for longer than that one did because we're going to have to watch Broberg and Holloway play in the league for the next 15 years.
You may have already solved your Broberg problem with Wallman.
I know, but you still are going to 10 years from now. It's going to be like, oh, Philip Broberg putting together another fine season for the Blues. Oh, Dylan Holloway, 30 goals. And it'll be like, God damn it. Should have been
I was
Oilers.
on board with signing Broberg. I said give him the Clefbaum contract. At the beginning of there's a lot of hindsight here because when this happened,
But that's what we're doing.
when this happened, a lot of people were like, well, Broberg was barely playing last year and Holloway really hadn't done anything. And yet this was their opportunity to take a step. Holloway is probably playing top 6 if he's here right now most of the year. Broberg, maybe not.
Yeah.
That's
what I'm saying. Like one of those two guys is going to haunt you for a long time.
But this is Chiarelli by far.
I found my tweet from the day the offer sheets were given. I said, this move's easy. Sign Holloway. Let Broberg walk. We're cooking. So that's where I'm at on those. But ultimately, it's still Peter Chiarelli. Like, he was a disaster.
By miles.
I think that, like, hindsight is one thing that we're doing now with the benefit of. But in the moment, I think back to 2017 in that offseason, I was pissed off. This year on July 1st, I think all of us were sitting in this room going, fuck, Jeff Skinner and Victor Arvidsson. I'm like, all right, and the bets just didn't work as we thought. That happens. We're all bettors in this room. We've all put bets down that were like, easy money.
This season's not over.
And it just doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean, that is a good point from Rick. Like, as much as, again,
We're in second place in the division. We're in top 7 of the league.
comparing the two is crazy because one of them resulted in missing the playoffs, and the other one could still result in the Stanley Cup.
Yes.
and that's fine. But anybody that wants to look at Jeff Jackson's part of this summer and not include the fact that he baked in no movement clauses that didn't tell anybody about, and he also hired Stan Bowman, who I am still on the fence for.
Bowman's made great moves so
and
far.
thinking that which one of the great moves has he made?
He's only made like 3.
That's exactly it. So I think that there's still time to go on that one. And that one's not going to end out well for us.
Frederick probably going to be good.
Big hands.
Big hands.
But
Old mitts, they call it.
The summer of Jeff Jackson was fraudulent at best.
Oh boy.
It just was. And yes, we all bought in on the Kool-Aid, and yes, it could all turn into a Stanley Cup still as well. But I certainly think it's way closer than you're making it out to be. But I would lean towards Jeff Jackson just because that summer was like 3 weeks for him before he hired Stan Bowman, and then he gets to wash his hands of the rest of it.
I actually feel bad for Stan Bowman that he was just like, he had to come in on like a formed roster and deal with those issues. I actually think like that sucks.
And there's a good chance that the part of the Broberg and the Holloway thing is half eaten by Holland. Ken Holland was the GM. He was told to get this dealt with. He did not do it.
Busy golfing.
Yeah.
So now you can't put this is 1,000% Chiarelli, and it's by miles.
I don't think it's particularly close either. It's clearly Jet. No, I'm kidding. It's Chiarelli. I just think that...
And the no movement clauses aren't going to be bad if we win the cup and these guys play better. They're meant for the playoffs.
But it's the part of the fact that he kept that from the media and lied to us.
Who cares what you tell the media?
Doesn't
this happens
matter.
all the
I
time.
do. I care.
They've come
I want
out and said
transparency
this
from my
happens
organization.
This comes out all the time. They said this happens all the time.
That
NMCs
no
don't
movements
get
clauses get revealed a week before the trade deadline.
That no movement clauses
Never
are
has
not
happened.
announced. Yes,
Never has happened. I haven't
Never
seen
has
it.
happened.
I haven't seen it.
Yes,
You were saying it happens all the time.
they said it happened that you don't announce the no movement clauses all the time. They came out like I don't know. I can't remember. It was Puck Beatty or something. Somebody came out and said this happens quite often, a lot more than people know.
It was Frank, Oilers Nation every day.
There you go.
Same week.
My dog?
Sorry?
My dog?
Yes.
Yes.
I think it's Chiarelli. I mean, at the end of the day, the Oilers missed the playoffs.
We subtracted all those goals.
Still could miss the playoffs this year.
It was like a net loss. Like I'm doing the math off my head, but it
60-something,
was like
if not more.
80, I think.
Yeah.
Can I read the trades that Chiarelli made that season too, outside of the offseason?
Go ahead.
UC Jokinen for Mike Camilleri, of course. That was a big one.
You know what? I don't mind that at all.
I know.
Jokinen was very much dry toast.
Mike Camilleri. Forgot he was an Oiler. Al Montoya for a fourth.
You love a bean. You love a magic bean.
That changed the
Can't talk
generation.
to him
Shaped
on
the
game.
generation.
Can't interview him on game day.
Brandon Davidson, unfortunately, away for a third
Yeah, I
round
didn't like
pick.
that one.
That was a tough one. Mark Letestu for Pontus Aberg.
I would
Patrick
have.
Maroon, of course, for a third round pick, and JD Dudek.
Fuck JD.
And of course, the Oilers flipped that pick from the Devils and got Cooper Marody, who now is
great
a
song.
music guy.
Does Cooper Marody play at all
I don't
anymore,
think
or is
so.
he
Plays
just?
guitar.
Well, definitely plays the guitar.
He
He
does
stayed
play.
in the AHL after he left us. I don't know if he's still.
Yeah. Well, he
Lehigh.
played 6 games this season in Lehigh. Maybe he's injured. Maybe he's done.
Scored a goal.
Maybe he's just working on that music.
Yeah.
He scored a goal
Was that a
on.
Gram-
He
was that
scored
a
more
Grammy?
goals on a goalie using his stick than Matthias Janmark.
Do you know there
Musicians
was
get Grammys, right?
He's a country guy too,
Yeah.
so he
Working on
could
Grammy.
get a
a
country
big
music award.
lay miss from that question?
CCMA.
Johan
Yeah, AMAs.
Avitu was signed by Peter Chiarelli that summer.
He was the dual threat forward and defenseman. You love to see it.
And Lico.
Who is the other? Oh, Joel Pearson. Which one of them was like a teacher, and then 2 years later they're like, "Fuck, I'm in the NHL."
It was Pearson.
It was Pearson.
Yeah.
Joel Pearson was given a $1.75 million contract.
Yes.
Johan
That's
Avitu?
Klingberg money, baby. I remember OV2 because he was a Devil before he was an Oiler. The story with him was he showed up to Devils training camp, and a reporter asked him, they're like, "Oh, like who's an NHL defenseman that your game is similar to?" And he was like, "I've never watched the NHL." And everyone was like, "All right."
I like it.
Yeah, sign that guy.
All right, moving along.
Sam Brad Malone.
Next question. Liam, starting with you. No Connor. This one comes in from Devin. No Connor, no Leon. How fucked are we, boys?
Yeah, big time. I mean, we can sugarcoat it all we want. Well, you don't just replace those two guys in your lineup. We're asking Adam Henrique, who has struggled to score all season, to step up and be this team's second line center.
He's gonna get more opportunity though.
Yep. What will he do with it? Time will tell. I'd say an 8 out of 10 if I have to be completely honest.
Rick, how fucked are we?
Game one of this, I'll go 4 out of 10. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think like it's just because of who it is in Seattle. If the first game's Dallas,
Then yeah,
then I'm going
sure.
much higher. But this team, without those two guys, should still be able to beat Seattle.
Well, I'll say I'm a 12 out of 10 against Dallas and a 6 out of 10 against Seattle. Therefore, that averages out to 8 out of 10.
There you go.
Math. Dan, how fucked are we?
That's not right. 9 out of 10.
I don't think that they're necessarily fucked in the sense that the New York road trip, I think, was their coming together and circling the wagons moment. This just delays a little bit of the momentum that they're going to continue to spur on once they come back. So I think that they'll probably still have a winning record by the end of these 3 games.
Tyler, how fucked are we?
Mildly. Not fucked to completion, but we're close.
Just the tip.
Okay. Tyler's edging for the next week.
The frustration.
Yeah. Gonna need the edges of our lineup to really come through for the boys. Break.
How fucked are we? Like, it doesn't matter which team it is. If you lose your two best players, you're kind of fucked.
But also, like, Minnesota lost Kaprizov and Ek, kept it. Like,
You got to do it.
Find a way.
Good teams have a way,
Exactly.
find a way to do it. So how fucked are we? Yeah, we're fucked. But like, there's still a lot of good players on the roster. So if I'm giving it an out of 10, 6. But like, let's see what tomorrow's game looks like in Seattle. If they go and shat upon themselves against Seattle, then my number creeps up.
I still think they can win both games.
Of course
I
they can.
just think you're still fucked because you're losing those two players.
All right, let's get some shenanigans here. Of course, when our boy Dangerous Wade submits a question, you know it's going to be something ridiculous. All right. Tyler, I'm starting with you. You get to be any type of centaur, meaning half human, half animal. The animal half of you can be any animal you like. Traditionally, a centaur is a horse,
Right.
but we don't have to be a horse. What animal would you want, and would you want the top half or the bottom half to be the animal?
Where does half start?
Just halfway.
That's a different question.
Like hip, belly button?
Yeah,
Upper
we'll go
body,
belt.
lower body.
Yep.
Okay. UBI,
this
LBI. So immediately my brain goes to aquatics. I would like to be able to swim and have gills. But I still want legs for land purposes. So I might pick a tortoise.
Slow moving.
Yeah, but in the water, out of the water, I can make it work.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
You get a cool shell?
now here's another question.
Go ahead.
Humans, very easy when you say cut a human in half.
Yeah.
Tortoise
Yeah.
could be cut in half vertically or horizontally.
Well, now you got a choice to make. Do you get the shell or do you just get the legs?
I would concede. Can I keep my arms and head, everything else tortoise?
I
I say
you're
yes.
really putting
Fair. That
yourself
is
in
a fair
hole
move.
here.
Yeah, I'm going tortoise.
That's a fair move.
All right. Dan, you are a centaur.
I did not expect that answer.
What flavor of centaur are you, Dan?
I'm going to go with legs of a cheetah.
Okay, good. You didn't take mine.
Bottom half of a cheetah, and then I'm winning marathons instead of just finishing them.
I like it. Rick?
Kangaroo.
Oh, you're hopping.
All right,
hopping.
kangaroo
You
jack.
got a nice little pouch. Keep your stuff.
Yeah, the bottom half of you is built Ford tough. You get out there, be an athlete still.
You got that cool tail. You can chill or lean back.
Inside
Yeah.
of the pouch where they keep their young. Is it moist in there?
Oh, it's gooey.
Ew, really?
Yeah, it's gooey
That's
for
disgusting.
sure. Yeah.
Not a dry pouch.
I was in Australia and I went to a kangaroo kind of sanctuary and they let you put your hand in there and it's gooey.
That's disgusting. I'm happy I asked, though.
Yeah.
Keep going. That's all.
Liam, what kind of centaur are you?
Half dragon.
Those aren't real.
They are real. Now,
Like a Komodo dragon?
like one with wings.
That's bullshit. Those don't exist.
You
don't know? You don't know?
We are debating what half of an animal we would be.
Have you
I will
seen
be a
one?
Dragon.
You don't know.
You know what I'm taking? I like some of the angles the boys are thinking here, but I would like to be nimble. I'd like to be fast, powerful. I'd like to climb trees. I'm going jaguar.
Oh,
Hamster, yes. They're known tree climbers.
Noted.
I'm going jaguar. Very powerful, majestic. The dots, like the print on the coat,
oh,
lovely.
You're not a black jaguar.
No. I want one of the
Traditional.
cool, yeah.
So jaguar used to be my favorite animal growing up.
What happened?
I was introduced to the squirrel monkey, of course.
Life evolves, doesn't it?
You gotta change.
Bonus, gentlemen. Second sneaky secret half of Dangerous Wade's question.
Whoa. No.
Now that we all know what animals we are, who among us is winning the Oilers Nation Battle to the Death Battle Royale?
Oh, me. I'm hiding in the water till you all eliminate each other. Then I'll submerge and it's 1v1.
I'm flipping you on your shell. Now what?
You ever
You're
seen
dead.
the Ninja Turtles? Like, that's basically what I would be. I would be a Ninja Turtle.
I don't think turtles can hang out under the water that
Yeah.
long.
Do you know
Tortoise.
Make it work.
Because you want gills and stuff.
You're
You don't have
missing-
gills and stuff as a turtle.
You're missing the radioactive sludge that made them who they are.
Yeah, you're just a simple turtle centaur.
Oh. Okay, maybe I am.
All right, who's winning the fight? We got a turtle. We got a cheetah. I'm a jaguar.
Kangaroo.
We got a kangaroo and a dragon.
Feline team up?
Yeah, we could tag up on people.
We could beat up.
Eventually have to take on each other, though.
That's true. Yeah, cat fight will be fun at the end.
You know,
The
I'm
Royal
picking
Rumble
Liam
and
because
tag
if
teams are in there.
Liam is a dragon,
Nah,
I feel like that's unfair.
Yeah,
I think it just turns out to be half of a carcass because there's no real thing as
He
a
has to be
dragon.
bottom half
There is.
dragon.
So it's just
Yeah, you also have to be bottom half dragon.
No,
Yeah.
no fire breathing.
That's fine. I'll just fly.
no
Turtle's
no
gonna
wings.
last-
Oh,
There's no
easily.
wings on his ass.
I have like regular.
Throw 'em on
I
my
have
back.
regular arms. I can use that that thing they used to kill the dragon in Game of Thrones.
I haven't seen it.
A lie.
That's the
Spear gun or whatever they used.
wind maker.
Going
Don't
down.
catch me. I'll hide in the clouds. Underwater.
I will be perfectly camouflaged in the tree outside of my bare-chested whiteness up there.
Your camouflage goes out the window. Bury yourself in sand.
Now, I don't know that we're going to figure out who's going to win the battle to the
I think we.
No.
That's for
yeah,
the
we
viewers.
let the
the listeners.
Let us know.
We don't
Who
answer
wins?
those questions. We're too dumb.
It's no way it's Tyler. I've already flipped him on his shell. He's upside down. He can't do anything.
He's frustrated.
You overthought that one.
No.
Yeah.
Happy with my quality of life in the ocean.
Turtles can only survive for 2 hours without
Idiot.
breathing.
Sounds like you guys are at a 2-hour disadvantage.
All right, Dan. Bonus question. Ask the idiots.
I don't know. This one came to my head this week. Song you would sing, gun to your head.
Word for word, bar for
Word
bar.
for word, bar for bar.
Oh, man.
The gambler. You got to know when to hold.
Happy
you do have to do the entire song.
This is stolen from. I've seen this before. This is completely stolen, but it's the right answer. It's Happy Birthday.
But which version do you get to at the end?
Oh, mine. I got an even better one. Tequila.
Are you sure there's no other words?
Yeah.
Maybe the cha-cha slide. I could
Do you know all the words to
Not
that?
this
and
time.
the dance moves.
The trick
Stop
is
it.
that when
you
go
know
to-
all the words and the dance moves.
Like if I
Cha-cha slide.
if I
Hello, we are
played
doing
the
this-
instrumental right now.
This is an
Part
off-season thing.
Part one. Oh, no, sorry.
Part two.
Part two. Yeah, I don't
It's
know.
the remix.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tyler, what are you taking?
Yeah, I said tequila.
Oh, you're doing tequila, eh? So I got to know every single word or else I'm dead.
The answer is easy.
I'm going to go the intro to The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Okay.
Oh, the national anthem? Easy one.
But then people stop booing you halfway through. I get
Good. I like being.
Not
booed.
our anthem. Our anthem is golden.
And if you mess it up, just say you're protesting.
Yeah, the Chantal Kraviazik.
Yeah.
What are you picking, Dan?
I have a classic one from the Arrogant Worms called Canada is Really Big. When I was a kid, I listened to it on repeat forever, and now I just know the words off by heart.
Canada is really big.
Yep. We're the second largest country on this planet Earth.
The system
and
works.
if Russia keeps on shrinking, then soon
No, they're
we'll
going the other
be
way.
first as
growing.
long as we keep
They're
Quebec.
growing though.
Didn't age well.
The USA has tanks and Switzerland has banks. They can keep them thanks. They
fade
just
him-
don't
just
amount.
fade him down.
Yeah,
we're
just
doing
fade
it.
me down, kill it.
What happens if the U.S. gets Greenland? Are we still bigger than them?
Oh, good
We
question.
will still be bigger than them, yes.
What happens if the U.S. gets Canada?
I don't think we're bigger than them anymore.
What happens if the U.S. becomes our province?
That'd be a province of territory.
Fellow Oilers fan Mark Carney would never let that happen.
Let's talk some betting, Tyler.
Okay.
Bet news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win is a barn burner, every face-off, hat trick, power play, shot on goal, penalty shot, and every suspenseful minute in between is amazing. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. Bet365, an official partner of the NHL. Download the Bet365 app and use the code NATION to get in on the game. The code is NATION. I want to rip through a couple of different things here before I turn it over to Tyler. Hart Trophy odds have shifted since we last looked. Currently, according to our friends at Bet365, Leon Draisaitl now favored it at minus 150. Connor Hellebuck is up next at plus 175. Nathan McKinnon down to plus 600. And then Kucherov at fourth at plus 10,000.
They've shifted again.
So I did this morning around 10.
Connor Hellebuck is now minus 225.
Wow.
Draisaitl is plus 300.
Oh, throw it on
Oh,
Leon.
man. A little sprinkle?
Throw on Leon right now.
A little sprinkle.
On a goaltender that leaky? I got to sit right behind him last night.
I
too,
might
and reminded him
honestly
quite
wait.
often.
I might wait a few more days
To see
because
if
I
it
think
gets
the
worse?
gap will keep going.
I don't hate that. That's good looking out, Tyler. Well, how about this one then? I was looking at the Selke Trophy because I actually think Leon Draisaitl's defensive game has been very much disrespected this year.
What are the metrics for that, though?
Yeah, because he doesn't play penalty kill.
Do you have to?
I think typically
I don't know.
I don't know. That's only. I know a lot of people have said it this year. I'm not discounting what you're saying, but
I just
that would
don't
be
know
like
the metrics on that.
why I wouldn't vote for him because he doesn't kill penalties.
ask
So
him to.
the word of the law, according to the website, is the Frank J. Selke Trophy is an annual award given to the forward who best excels in the defensive aspects of the game. Period.
PK is probably
just
going to be part of that
PK
then.
would have to be part of it for my vote. I think he's played well defensively. Don't get me wrong.
He could play PK. They just don't because why would you?
Yeah, we would not like him blocking shots and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, but I just find it an interesting award.
That'll probably be the determining factor if they came down to him and so. If that other dude kills penalties, it's probably
Well,
good
looking
for him.
at the odds now, looking at the lines, Sasha Barkov is running away as the favorite. Not surprising. He is minus 650.
Kill penalties?
Barkov? Oh yeah.
Reinhardt plus 500. He's in second place. Nico Hischier plus 1200. Draisaitl doesn't show up until fourth at plus 3300.
They have two guys from the same team.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it has less to do with your teammates than in an individual award.
I feel like this is especially one of those awards, not to like throw shade anywhere, but like if no one has grabbed hold of the narrative by now, it's part of the reason Patrice Bergeron, I think, won so many. If
Just
no one's
give it to,
grabbed
like-
hold of the narrative by now, the writers and stuff just kind of go like,
The
oh
guy
yeah,
over the last couple of years. Yeah.
Barkov's then. Like the incumbent wins this one way more. Like there's no voter fatigue in this one because people almost look at it like, give him another Selke. He's great defensively. Versus the Hart Trophy, you get that voter fatigue because there's so much more public debate about it.
Third
be
one
the
I
man,
got
you
before I
gotta be the
turn it
man.
over to you, Tyler, is the Norris Trophy. I find this one to be the most interesting. The two odds listed at Bet365 today, as I was doing this morning, was Cale Makar minus 450 versus the field at plus 320.
Wowzers.
So
Is he
And
running
again,
away with
with-
it so much that
Not
it
in my
wouldn't make
mind.
sense
That's
that
an
the
insane gap.
field?
so here's my thing. I think
So
Cale
McKinnon versus everyone, or Makar versus everyone.
Yeah. I think we're at the point now, 12 to 15 games to go for most teams. Quinn Hughes' injuries have probably taken him out of this. He missed a bit too much time, although he's still having a great season. I think even if he played all the games, he wouldn't have been my pick. Werenski at plus 350 is playing so well, but what people point to is like, look how great he's doing in Columbus and how important he is. Where would that team be without him? And it's like, okay, then you're making a Hart Trophy case for him. This is not the defenseman most valuable to their team. It's the best defenseman in the NHL. And Cale Makar, even though he's got Natchez and McKinnon and all that help around him and Taves on his pairing, he is still the best defenseman in the NHL. So
By that gap?
but
That
here's
gap seems massive.
that gap seems massive, but like I'm not betting on plus 320 because Makar might not win by a landslide, but he's gonna win. So like I still don't want to bet that.
Yeah.
I agree that like it's the gap between him and Werenski is thin, but he's still the favorite. So like you're not the bet only cashes if Werenski wins the award, not comes in second by a little bit, right?
Yeah, that's fair. You need some sort of
It's kind of he's the de facto winner, and
Yeah.
Werenski has to disprove him as the winner.
and it's funny because he started the year off, he was so mad at himself.
Yeah.
What else you got, Tyler?
Those were I wanted to talk Hart, which was the big one for me. I mean, if we wanted to, again, I know we've been talking about it every week, but the Western Conference playoff race, the St. Louis Blues have moved themselves into the favorites. They're plus 160, Van plus 180, then Calgary at plus 230. I still don't mind Calgary.
Utah is out.
Utah, I mean, yeah, they're plus 650 if you wanted it, but they're pretty far out of the race at this point. They are, as it stands right now, 2 points back of Calgary, 3 back of Vancouver, 4 back of St. Louis. Calgary does have a game in hand on them, though, so they could be 4 back of Calgary. It's a lot.
Whatever the moment's never ordinary. Bet365, an official partner of the NHL. Download the Bet365 app and use the code NATION and get in on the game. Must be 19 years old or older. Please play responsibly. Let's get to some hot and cold performers. We got 2 more items to check off, boys. We got hot and cold performers and then a score prediction tomorrow against Seattle. Let's do it. Hot and cold performers is presented by Oodle Noodle. I'm asking you, please. It's Friday. You don't want to cook today. You've worked hard all week. Download the Oodle Noodle app today, whether it's the Apple Store or the Google Play Store. It's easy, and you can earn free Oodle Noodle just by using the app. Sign up for the loyalty program through the app today. You will get 1,500 loyalty points, which works out to about $15 in value just for signing up. My recommendation is the Dynamic Duo combo in solidarity for our boys. You get the Bombay butter chicken and a green onion cake for $17.95. Let's start off with our veggies, boys. It is a cold performer time. Tyler, I'm starting with you. Your cold performer of the week.
I'm going to keep giving it to officiating in the NHL. Again, the drop in penalties is crazy. And if you need any more proof that that there is game management in the NHL, in the Western Conference this year, they're out of the 16 teams, only 2 of them to this point have more power plays than they did last year. Dallas is by 3. San Jose is up 26. 14 of the 16 teams have a drop. Somehow San Jose has drawn 26 more power plays than they did last year. Kind of weird that the team that has the puck less than their opponent more than anyone in the NHL is the only team that is up 26. NHL officiating, game management, cold performer.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok, and flat out deceived.
That's right, Stephen A.
In the East, only one team has a positive differential. It's Buffalo, the worst team in the conference. Like, it's ridiculous. It's game management, and it's ruining the game.
Tyler's calling shenanigans. Dan, you're up. Cold performer of the week for our friends at Oodle Noodle.
This one's going to go to a former, I guess, team alumni member and a guy that takes a lot of heat in this city in the past. Anyways, it's going to go to Kevin Lowe for his statement on LinkedIn. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but he took to attacking Rick Westhead and his journalism around sexual assaults and that kind of thing, and how he says he's too negative about it. He must have been cut from a team at some point in his life. And then also something about how he doesn't cover the positives that the leagues do enough. And to me, all ridiculous points to attack one single journalist, the only journalist, one of the few journalists in this country that's willing to cover these stories and give them the comprehensive coverage that they need to be had, knowing that he's risking his own personal career and his own personal, sources later on in life. Kevin Lowe, you get my cold performer of the week.
What the hell is going on?
Also, to add in, I haven't read it, but if there's one thing I know about investigative journalism and journalists, they don't have enough fun, right? Enough fluff pieces in that world.
Yeah,
right?
That's the good stuff.
But
Come on, man.
Also, the idea that
Just an opinion, though.
he got cut from a Pee Wee AA team and was like, I'm dedicating my life to ruining hockey or whatever. Like that.
It's just
believe they
old
did this to
man's.
me.
There's part of that stuff out there.
I
man
can't believe this
screaming at
investigative
cloud.
journalist isn't writing about like squirrel weddings or whatever the fuck. Pull it together. Rick, you're up. Cold performer of the week.
Whoever defaced the Gretzky statue last night.
Oh, yeah. That was
That's fucking embarrassing. Pass the balls to them all. Put your name on it.
What happened?
Someone threw poop at Wayne.
Literal shit?
Caca on his
Absolutely
face.
disgusting.
Smeared
gonna
on.
hide
the-
That's
gonna-
crazy.
Gonna hide and and never come forward because they don't have the guts to.
No, 100%
Show their face.
OEG has some cameras on that. They're going to have caught their faces already.
And
For sure.
fucking
Unless
post
they
it,
schmidt
post
their
it,
own faces.
fucking everywhere.
I did not know that was a thing.
Oh, you're gonna read about it for a long time now.
Gross.
This will be all about Edmonton and all about Oilers fans and all. It's gonna be absolutely ridiculous. Terrible.
Okay. Everything's fun in 2025. Hey, let's write some investigative journalism on how a good time we're having. Liam, you're up.
How did they do this? How are they having a good time? Mine goes out to the Buffalo Sabres for scoring on themselves yesterday, while also having a delayed penalty. So their net was empty for that.
Oh, nice. You don't see those often.
Throw back to the defenseman. He's not there.
But he was in the last 2 minutes of the game, and it was only a 3-2 game. Made it 4-2 to Utah. Lost 5-2.
Oh, that's cold.
I haven't seen one of those in a while. I'm looking forward to watching that highlight. It's always nice when you see, like, when they do a reverse angle as the puck's coming into the net, and you just see the dejected look on everybody's face because they realize what's going to happen.
What's his name? Rob Ray, right?
Yep.
He does
Took
the
one right in the bell the other day. Holy cow.
He's on the broadcast and he literally yells, "Give them the puck," and then it goes in the net. It was awesome.
Shout out to Rob Ray for taking one in the bean and then having some fun with it. I saw him up in the crowd the other day doing his call, and he was wearing his helmet with the visor. I loved it. I thought that was
The
hilarious.
visor. That dude never wore a visor.
No. That's a new act.
One of my favorite videos is when he beats the crap out of that dude who runs on the ice and runs towards the bench. He hits him with like 16, 17 punches.
Tyler's listening.
Give him the puck. Give him the puck.
Liam, your button is going to be this one.
That's a joke. That's an absolute joke is what it is.
Thanks, Torts.
I'm just going to go to something a little bit more timely because it hurts me, is that the Oilers have got their 2 best players injured at the worst time, though I do appreciate that the team's going to take caution with them both. That's the smarter play. Doesn't mean it doesn't hurt, though.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok, and flat out deceived.
Me. Anyway,
Well, if we're still around a week, then they didn't. If this turns into an Arvidsson situation,
well, fair.
Smash that button a couple more.
All right, fair. All right, let's flip it around. Hot performance of the week for our friends at Oodle Noodle. Liam, you're up first.
Oh, I had a great one, and it slipped my mind. Hot performer of the week this week. I will go with the turn in the weather.
Oh my!
There we go.
What? What?
So proud of himself too.
Can't remember what I was going to say.
I thought you were going to say your week as a father.
Oh yeah, I was a dad this week. That was huge.
What?
Now I'm an empty nester.
With the chicken
What?
again?
No, with a real boy.
Do you think being an empty nester will put a strain on your relationship?
Yeah, because now you don't have somebody to dedicate. Like, you're not cooking for a young man anymore.
Yeah.
You're not cleaning up
I
after him.
I ordered
You're not
him
worried
yesterday.
about whether or not he's going to come down, tarp on, tarp off. Like, there's a whole thing going on.
Yeah, that was huge. I sent him away to Brooks yesterday. It was a good 3 nights. Good kid.
Well-
Give me some levels on Fortnite.
Little taster for fatherhood there for you.
Yeah, I'm about
dig it.
20 years away from that.
Wow. Rick, you're up next. Hot performer of the week.
So I'm trying to set up a little bit of good karma with this because I've definitely pulled them into the other side of this before, but I can't remember which part of the management came on and said it, but I feel now more than ever that they will sign Vladdy.
Ooh.
So I'm trying to
Shapiro
use.
said it.
Was it him? Yeah,
Yeah.
He felt really good about it. He felt that everyone's aligned and whatever the hell. The Vladdy request was kind of came out earlier and it's reasonable, and so I'm gonna try and work some karma here, and we're gonna give it to the Blue Jays for figuring out the Vladdy's contract.
Pour it on!
Nation Dan, hot performer of the week for our friends at Oodle Noodle.
I'm just going to give it out to a website that has helped me in the last couple of weeks. I'm learning more about Canadian products and the Elbows Up movement. And it's the website madeinca.ca. And it just explains all the different products that are made in Canada. And Canada, we need more burger joints. Only Harvey's and A&W are truly Canadian burger restaurants left in this world.
He's a hot guy.
Here's your button. Number 1, I will crush some A&W.
Yeah.
And Harvey's. It's done they make it
When's
my
the
way.
last time
Hats
you've had
off.
Harvey's, though?
Oh, we do it all the time, actually.
Do you?
Yeah, yeah.
I eat at Harvey's.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
24.
suppose.
It's 24/7. We pop over there all the time.
I swear, I think it's been since 2004.
Oh, man, you got to go have it your way, Dan.
No.
But yo, hats off to A&W because when you want it's 6 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
you want a team burger, they got it for you.
I remember I worked the night shift at Michael's back in the day. And I went to A&W because they have great breakfast there too.
They do.
And I went to A&W in Shore Park and I sat down and this lady came up and was like, "Would you like some more coffee, sir?" And she was an older lady. I was like, "Yes, I'd love some." She didn't work there. The place was just rammed with old people and she offered me coffee. Walked up to the front, grabbed the thing, poured some coffee.
It's just in her to
Okay.
help.
It's
All right.
the burger family and just the family.
Family.
The family, like, yes. All of it. Yes. Okay. Did I give Dan a button? I'll give him this one. Tyler, you're up. Hot performer of the week.
McNeese State Equipment Manager Amir Ora Khan. Ora being his nickname for reasons that are relatively self-explanatory. The
If you
boys
watch
got
it.
drip. And
If
he
you watch
dropped
the walkout.
Yeah, watch the walkout. Look up McNeese State walkout. This dude's sick. And he had a quote the other day. And he said, if they kept manager stats for rebounding and wiping up wet spots on the court, I'd be putting up Wilt Chamberlain numbers. This dude is sick. He's stealing the show at March Madness, even though McNeese State ruined my bracket. Amir Ora Khan is my hot performer.
It's getting hot in here.
Yeah.
Little fella?
Yeah.
I lost my entire screen. Cool. Neato. Love when things work as they're
He has NIL deals, by the way.
McNeese?
Yeah.
No, the kid?
Yeah, the
kid, yeah.
equipment manager. See when he comes out here and he's
Yeah,
got
he's got
tick
it on.
picks on? That's his NIL.
Oh my fucking.
Wow, I love it. To wrap up hot performers for Oodle Noodle, I'm just going to say, hey, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins.
Oh yeah.
back-to-back 3-point games. He looked really, really good. Like Rick said earlier in the podcast, if he can find a lane with Podkolzin and Arvidsson and be a productive line, that is going to be a big, big win. And it all kind of starts with my dude down the middle. Shout out to Ryan Nugent-Hopkins.
This is why I'm hot. I'm hot because I'm fly. You ain't because you
Okay,
not.
now I need to watch this video, so we need score predictions. ASAP, Rocky boys. Seattle tomorrow night, Hockey Night in Canada. It's the late slot. Tyler, what's the score?
Oilers win 3-0.
Dan.
Ooh, I'm going to say Oilers win 4-3 in overtime.
Give me 5-2 Edmonton.
Liam.
2-1 Oilers.
You're going to really enjoy the 7-1 win that comes tomorrow.
You
I was
almost
pretty
said it-
close.
you almost said it the
I
other
was
day.
pretty close last week. It was I said 8-1, but it was 7-1. I was close.
Robinson had any finish.
Yeah, one of these days I'm going to get one. All right, everybody. There's your podcast. Thanks for listening. Have a great weekend, and go Oilers.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.